Well, the exit polls after the last vote has been cast present a very interesting picture before result day, when we will know the outcome of elections in 5 states. Let's take a quick look first at what the key headlines are out of these exit polls. Here, Kaushik, I think important to note that we've picked a specific set of exit polls, narrowed it down, and this is the picture we've come up.
These are agencies that have carried out exit polls over a number of years, and those that have seemed to have had a sample size that's broad enough over the years to reach a point where you think that you can get that and put that to our viewers. 5 key points here. The first one is that in 2 of those states, the Congress is seen as getting to that halfway mark. That's Rajasthan and to an extent in Madhya Pradesh. Remember, these are both states that in 2013 the Congress lost very badly.
Yeah, and in Chhattisgarh is a very interesting situation where Raman Singh seems like he will scrape through once again. We'll come to all the details in that, but first the headlines very quickly. It also means that BJP could face a setback, a pretty huge one, in the Hindi heartland of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. And the Congress may take away 2 of these 3 Hindi-speaking states, which will have a huge impact ahead of 2019. But let's come to Madhya Pradesh, and we'll go through each of those sets in a bit of detail. Madhya Pradesh would be the big surprise, because even a couple of months ago, it seemed like Mamaji, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, would come through for a 4th term. The polls don't say that too clearly.
So let's look at them, right? Very quickly. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them showing a healthy lead for the Congress. That halfway mark is 115, 116. There's only one that's giving the BJP a win, a clear win. The rest of them are showing the Congress ahead. So when you tally that up, it's showing the Congress and the BJP. Remember, this is an outlier number, which is what's skewing this towards...
You know, just a note, which is something you don't see in the graphic, Access My India shows pretty much the same header, but it gives a 1% extra vote share. They've done a vote share prediction as well. So they give 42% of the vote to the Congress and 41% to the BJP, which is why we're saying 3 out of 5 show a Congress win, 1 neck-to-neck position. It is something which will definitely make the BJP uncomfortable.
That's right. And any of the others are parties necessarily that you'd think that are more amenable to the Congress's smaller parties than the BJP, having run the state for the last 15 years.
Well, it's unlikely to come to a split verdict, but then we'll see how clear this is. Let's move on to Rajasthan. Now, Rajasthan, you know why I find Rajasthan very interesting, Kaushik, is because in the last week or so, there was this narrative that the BJP has managed to pull it back.
You did hear that, because you heard of... let the Prime Minister go in for his slogovers campaigning, for his carpet bombing of rallies that he's known to do in state after state. So you got the sense from BJP workers saying they were waiting for that to see if it could be clawed back. This is a state that was seen as one that was slipping out of the BJP's hands a few months ago. Raji did get her way in choice of candidates and things like who she wanted and how this election campaign should be run, and not from Delhi. But that said, those numbers are pretty evident.
Those numbers are actually very evident. There is only one poll, Jan Ki Baat, which is giving the BJP really a very marginal position and a lead over here with 83 to 103, which is a range. I've also noticed this time around, posters have been careful. I feel they've been careful.
That's right.
You know, where they're trying to show a direction but not sticking their necks out, and possibly because this is such a close contest and such an important set of election numbers as well. Let's go to Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh is fascinating because in the last minute you had a googly of sorts with Ajit Jogi and Mayawati coming together for a combination. It seems to have not done much harm to the Congress or the BJP, but they could be seeing themselves in a very important role in a couple of these polls. At least the Jan Ki Baat one is one where they could have an important role.
One caveat about this, right? And you brought this up in the piece on BloombergQuint.com that you put up earlier this week, that the margin of vote share between the Congress and the BJP in Chhattisgarh has been very narrow. And for the last 3 elections in this state, for much of the day, you don't know who's winning in Chhattisgarh. But 2003, 2008, 2013, I can tell you that. Having watched that, you didn't know who was winning the state. And it's only in those last few rounds, watch for Tuesday, that you might see a breakout in one party's favor. These are parties that are fairly evenly divided in vote share, as have been for the last 15 years.
I'll just end that with one, quote that Ajit Jogi gave to me when he spoke with me yesterday. He said, Raman Singh is born lucky.
Is it?
He manages to scrape through every time. Do go on BloombergQuint.com and watch that interview. Let's see if he is fourth time lucky. And that's what most of the pollsters are also saying. Let's come to Telangana. Telangana is also a very interesting one because the moment you had INC plus TDP, arithmetically they were ahead, but most pollsters seem to believe that KCR will pull through.
This one is interesting, right? Because the Congress was notionally with the TRS when Telangana was a state that for many of those years was a request or a demand that KCR had, leaves the UPA, forms a government in the state. The TDP, this is a bit of this would also be a state that's hard to poll.
Yeah.
Right? Because the TDP was with the NDA till 6 months ago. They've joined with the Congress now. So this whole, when parties that are inherently parties that have seen each other as rivals come together, I'd find it very hard for a pollster to find out if there's any voter transferability or not. So I'd say of the five, this one's a tough one for any exit poll to get right.
No, but they stuck their necks out. And in fact, Axis My India is giving them 91 seats on the upper limit. KCR has 90 right now, but he won 63.
That's right.
So all of those were people he pulled out of TDP and Congress. Let's see if this happens. Telangana again close to call, but as of today, it seems like KCR's gambit of pulling the plug on his government 9 months early may have paid off. Mizoram. Let's come to Mizoram as well. We have two polls over here with predictions, and both of them show the Mizo National Front ahead, but not by a massive margin. You need 21 to form the government, and they may just cross through. The others will play a significant role here.
So this part, right? The MNF is a party that's seen aligned to the NDA.
Yes.
So,
but not in the state.
Fair enough. The narrative, if the Hindi heartland is protected, then, and if this one comes into the MNF, then the Northeast, the narrative will be, is free of the Congress, is what Amit Shah, Narendra Modi and other leaders will go to town saying, look, this is now a region that is in complete control of the NDA and would go on, as they would say, on the development model that they want to take it on. That's the one state that the Congress still has in the Northeast. Let's wind back to why this election in 5 different states in 3 different parts of the country is so important. So let's go back to those 5 key points. And the points you made about this.
Yeah. BJP leaders today will be having a very uncomfortable time right till the results are announced, because if they lose the Hindi heartland, then even some kind of a proxy gain in Mizoram is not going to cut it.
Exactly.
65 seats between Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. They had 62 of them in 2014, and that's an important chunk in the context of 2019.
No, it's pretty much everything, right?
Yeah.
These are the states, along with Gujarat, and to an extent, UP, they did lose 5 seats. These are the 7 seats in UP. These are the states that they swept completely. All in Gujarat, all in Rajasthan, other than 2, all in MP.
We don't know if state votes will transfer, but the long and short of it is that whatever happens on result day, it is going to change the perception for both Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi.
Which is what had happened 5 years ago. When these were states that the BJP swept, you realized the extent of what was coming 6 months later. So as you said, and these are samples that different polling agencies, remember, these are samples that different polling agencies have put together that they think are representative of the electorate. You will find numbers coming in different bursts on Tuesday. Through that, you will see probably numbers consolidate over hours. So this is not necessarily an election that you get a clear trend on immediately, or immediately in the first hour or 2 on Tuesday. So keep watching Bloomberg Quint, and we have a special election page for you this time around, on which you'll be able to get your hold of some of that data, see what you want to see, and read a lot of in-depth analysis.
So do stay tuned, and we'll see you on Tuesday.